That down, let's talk about this. Lilo and Stitch. It opens this week. I'm very excited to see it. Listen, I'm a Mission Impossible fan, but I have to admit, I think I'm actually more excited to see the new Lilo and Stitch. I think the trailers have been completely adorable. I think they nailed it getting that little girl to play Lilo, and Stitch looks fantastic. So I'm really excited about it. Well, the full reviews are now out, and they're good. They're not great though. As of right now, Lilo and Stitch is holding a 71% on Rotten Tomatoes. Again, solid score. But again, it's some mixed reactions as well. Here, let's read some of the reviews. Phantom Wire writes, all in all, this version of Lilo and Stitch is cute, if not particularly memorable. The bloated runtime and jokes that don't land hold it back from ever being more than diverting, but the impactful emotional beats allow it to still connect. So they liked it. Zach Pope Reviews liked it, saying, Lilo and Stitch is the best Disney live-action remake, lovingly reintroduces the original story to a new generation, giving them the chance to fall in love with Stitch, who is still the heart of the film, but the true soul lies in Lilo and Nani's Ohana. Mama's Geeky liked it, saying, Lilo and Stitch might be Disney's... let me try that again. Lilo and Stitch might be Disney's best live-action remake yet, but it isn't without issues. The ending change is unnecessary and frustrating. That said, Maia, I'm sure I'm going to mispronounce his name, Maia Kealoha is a star and completely steals the show. You can just tell that from all the preview stuff. The Daily Beast liked it, saying it's jovial, zany, and sweet, and it recreates its adorable title alien via CGI and a Sanders voice performance with pitch-perfect accuracy. The Associated Press didn't like it, and just very simply says, Disney should have left the original alone. Society Movies liked it, saying, Lilo and Stitch has it all. Comedy, chaos, and tender dramatic moments tugging at the heart. Culturist didn't like it, saying Lilo and Stitch is dead set on realizing countless half-hearted retreads of scenes from the original animated classic. So rigidly emulating the past only heightens the specific egregious visual shortcomings of this production. IndieWire didn't like it. Says the heart of this story remains fully intact, but there's something about seeing it rendered in live action that takes away its inherent magic. It's harder to fall into, much tougher to lose yourself in. Jeremy Johns didn't like it. I thought Stitch was great. The rest of the movie, I'm not going to remember. We Live Entertainment liked it, saying Lilo and Stitch does have winning elements, largely the casting that still makes this version entertaining, despite my continual thoughts regarding the limbo these remakes exist. Variety didn't like it, saying somehow Lilo and Stitch has lost its unpredictable sense of anarchy in its retelling. For all its intents and purposes, it could be a Hawaii set sitcom. Last one we'll do here is Mashable. They liked it, saying, like with every Disney remake, you'd be better off watching the original, but if you have to watch one of the remakes, this is the one. So, overall, people seem to like it. They all basically seem to think the little girl playing Lilo, big win. That Stitch himself is great. I never want to criticize why people like or don't like something, especially when I haven't seen the movie yet myself.
Good plan.
I will say, though, that one of the common threads I've seen in a number of the negative reviews and some of the positive ones, their criticism seems to be completely based on comparing it to the original animated one, instead of just evaluating this movie on its own merits.
Well, and the fact that it's even remade.
Yeah, like, for example, I think they're missing a point. Like, my wife, Ann, loves Disney, all that kind of stuff. She's never seen Lilo and Stitch until 2 years ago when I showed it to her for the first time, even though she is Lilo. But she had never seen it. A lot of people have never seen it. And now look, I'm sure if I read their full reviews, they go into other rationale as to why. I'm just saying, for me, it kind of stands out that, did you simply go into this movie intent on evaluating it compared to the original and not as its own movie and just in and of itself and judging it good or bad on its own merits? I'm somebody who hasn't seen the movie yet, and I'm not trying to criticize their basis for criticism. I'm just saying that's one of the common threads that seems to kind of jump out at me, and maybe I'll get it and understand it once I see the movie myself, or maybe I'd understand the perspectives a little bit better if I read their entire review and their whole rationale. I'm sure there's more to it. Again, generally, positive reviews, 71%, great. Lilo's great, Stitch is great. A lot of people questioning the rest of it. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's episode, BetterHelp. You know what? I think we've come a long way in how we talk about mental health. I mean, that great show Shrinking certainly helps, but it used to be something people avoided bringing up. But now, more and more, we're realizing it's just as important to take care of yourself mentally as it is taking care of yourself physically. But still, 1 in 4 Americans say that they've skipped getting any kind of help because they're afraid of getting judged, and that has got to change. This month is Mental Health Awareness Month, so let's talk about how therapy isn't just for people going through major life events. It's for learning healthy coping strategies, building boundaries, and growing into the best version of ourselves. And BetterHelp makes it easier than ever. They've been connecting people with licensed therapists for over 10 years, with a network of over 30,000 professionals across a wide range of specialties. It's completely online, so it fits into your schedule. No commuting, no waiting rooms, and if the therapist you're with isn't the right fit for you, you can switch at any time, no extra cost. We are all better with help. Visit betterhelp.com/Campea to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Campea. Anyway, Chris, I know you are excited for this movie.
Very much.
What do you think about some of the responses we're hearing from it? I don't know, what's standing out to you?
I mean, the note in general of, did this need to be made, is always no. I mean, it's almost always no.
No movie in history's ever needed to be made. Yeah.
So, and especially when it comes to the Disney live action films, it's, well, yeah, there's already another movie of this, so what else are you going to add to this? What it needs to be said right now about it? And that all being said, I think this still looks charming. And honestly, these reviews are pretty much where I thought they would be.
Yeah.
I figured there would be some people who were a bit more cantankerous about this, who would have a, well, you know, you might as well just watch the original. This doesn't add anything. There's no value here. It's a different retelling. It's a different version. And unless it completely, you know, undermines the original message of found family and, you know, sticking together through times of adversity and feeling different and alone in the world and finding people who accept you for the exact little weirdo you are, this movie can't do any damage to the original, right? Unless it's like, hey, you know what? That whole moment where Stitch realizes he's the lost little ugly duckling, screw that. He's a terrible little thing, and you should feel bad about being different, and you should assimilate. Like, that's the only thing they can do to ruin the kind of idea behind Lilo and Stitch. So I'm still excited about this. It's a bummer that some of the other critics went into this, I guess wishing they could get a play-by-play, like they want a shot-for-shot remake, like it's Psycho or something. I don't know why you would want that.
You wouldn't.
You wouldn't. I don't think so. I think this will still be charming, and this is the bottom line here. Kids are going to love it, regardless of what critics think. Kids are going to love it, and this movie is still going to make $1 bajillion. Yeah. As long as it's good, it's going to make so much stinking money.
Yeah.
Rob, what's standing out to you with the reviews we've been reading?
Well, look, like Chris said, I'm against. I think it's been silly that Disney has been remaking their animated classics as live action movies. However, then you and I both went and saw Cinderella. Like,
I love that
this?
movie.
And, you know, Kenneth Branagh directing Cinderella. I mean, Lily James, Helena Bonham Carter's the fairy godmother. Mm-hmm. I watched that film, and that convinced me that there was still life, that remaking an animated classic could work. And there's been, like, I loved the quote-unquote live-action Jungle Book. I thought that was, I loved it. I loved it. And the Christopher Walken, I mean, it was awesome.
So good.
Some of them, you know, the need to do Lion King, I still don't quite get.
How good is the new How to Train Your Dragon?
Well, that's the thing.
We ended up loving that.
I ended up loving How to Train Your Dragon, and I was like, but we both thought it started slow.
Yep.
And I never had an experience in a movie theater where I'm watching a movie going, and then 20 minutes in, suddenly a switch got flipped in my brain going, I love this, you know, and I love that franchise. I love all those. And by the way, great 3D discs too, all three of those. those are, I love those movies. And against that, but it worked. That movie worked, you know, and all the clips I've seen of this film that we saw at CinemaCon, the extended scenes that they've shown online, they work for me. And I'm not, like, Lilo and Stitch is a fine movie, but I don't love it. I don't love it the way I love Fantasia.
Yeah.
Or Snow White or Pinocchio or the classics because I'm old. But there's something about, there's magic in the way that the way they created Lilo in CG, there is magic in how they did that.
Stitch.
Or pardon me, yes. Did I say
She
Lilo?
might be CG
She
too.
could be. She's that cute.
No, the way they
Completely
did Stitch.
CGI.
She's
the way
that
they did-
adorable.
But there's something about that. That's what I was captivated by, was the Stitch, the quality. They made it look like it was a felt puppet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was such a weird, it wasn't uncanny valley, but I'm like, they nailed it. And I think for that alone, it's going to mesmerize kids. And there might be, people were saying in reviews, it's treacly, like it's too emotional. I'm like, kids love that. That is not going to hurt this.
Well,
This is-
not everything, and we've talked about this before. Of sometimes it's really great when you have like a horrible, despicable villain, and sometimes it's better when you have a really lovely, warm, heartfelt story that a kid can just go to or an adult can go to and go, I feel better. I feel good, and I feel like I just got a hug in the form of a movie.
And no one's talking about the incarnation of Stitch, how they created it. There's something really mesmerizing about that I think they're discounting in these reviews, because they just assume, but they've done something. I don't know if it's magic from Derry that has ensorcelled my brain, but they've done something really interesting with the creation of Stitch that I think is going to really work on audiences this weekend. We'll know Monday.
Yeah, and one of the things, whenever these live action things happen, a lot of people, and we've seen in some of the, like, just watch the original. Here's my thing, and I've always stood by this. Here's a great example. Guy Ritchie's Aladdin, I think, is a wonderful example of this. I loved that movie. Now, do I love it as much as the original Robin Williams classic? No, but that movie is a great example of a true to the spirit of what the original was, but it's its own completely different experience. When I watched Kenneth Branagh's Cinderella, of course I grew up, my mom would always show me the original Cinderella. This Cinderella was definitely Cinderella, but it was a completely different experience. How to Train Your Dragon. Again, we were lucky enough to watch the full film at CinemaCon. Can't wait for the rest of you guys to watch it, but it's very true to the animated movie, but at the same time, it's a completely different experience. And I think this movie exists to give a new experience, even if it's the same story. Now, again, I may not like the film. I haven't seen it yet.
Right.
But I love when you can take a great story, whether it's animated or whatever, particularly when it's animated, and then you can create a completely unique experience by changing the medium of it. I'm all for giving that a shot. And I think there's some people who are kind of dead set against it, but I'm really looking forward to what kind of a different experience this gives me as opposed to the animated film.
Well, and I think that's the whole idea here of seeing a very three-dimensional Stitch and how that exists in our current world and our current landscape is really fun and interesting. And we've talked about this so much too. There's so many other things that Disney can mine, and that's the way to do it. Don't bring up like a beloved, wonderful Academy-nominated film like Beauty and the Beast. That one didn't really work, I think, personally.
Yeah, that one didn't quite work. But that was because it just wasn't very good.
Yeah, and the original one, it was this is near perfect. So I don't know what you want to add really. But if you did something like a Black Cauldron, like an Atlantis or something, it's the same kind of idea of Stitch. What can I do now with the technology? What can I do now that's a really fun and exciting thing that makes live action meaningful?
Plus, I do think that there's something to be said. Lilo is so adorable. That girl is so adorable.
She's so precious.
That when kids see her, it's there's something going on. It's different when you're actually watching a human being as opposed to watching animation. And to see an actress that's that appealing to kids, I bet that is a very empowering thing, maybe on a subconscious level for the audience that is going to go out and see this movie this weekend.
It's important to see yourself on screen too. And so if you are a kid who gets made fun of as much as Lilo, seeing that in live action hits differently than it does in animation. And I say that as somebody who fully loves animation, but when you see a small, 6-year-old child being made fun of by her peers, it's more real and it hurts. And I think it's important for kids to go, gosh, I've gotten bullied like that too. I've had that hard time. I definitely have a place in people who love me no matter what for being myself. That's important to see.
I want this movie to succeed.
Yeah.
I want to like it. I hope I do.
It seems like everybody working on it. Look, can you say it's a shameless cash grab? It is. I get it. But it looks to me like the people who made this movie gave it their all. It's got authorship, and they obviously tried to make the best movie they could. And I hope it makes all the money.
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think? The full reviews for Lilo and Stitch are in, and they're good, but they're not great. And I don't know. I'm very excited about the film. I hope I like it. What did you guys think? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down in the comments section below and leave your thoughts there. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.